Connecticut, we need to go over this article about Senator Chris Murphy, aka Sandy Hook, and we need to do it now. So here we go. I'm going to highlight this article, and anyone who wants to chime in really should. For example, Murphy slams Republicans for not protecting kids. What a joke. He is calling for the removal of any cop from any school. Here we go. Nowhere else do little kids go thinking they might be shot that day. He fabricated the Sandy Hook shooting. There are no autopsies. They had 16 toilets delivered the day before. And you should see the aerial footage of the school. And there's many problems with that case, folks. Judge Blowy, who heard the case, lives 1.5 miles from the school, which was closed due to mold and asbestos 8 years earlier. It was a staged FEMA event, paid for by Eric Holder, working with Murphy. Murphy is U.S. Senate Subcommittee Chair for Department of Homeland Security. So Adam Lanza was a mole rat at the Yale behavioral science problem. And the judge hearing the case Meyer, is a Yale professor. So here we go. Police shouldn't be in schools. That's what Murphy says on July 20th, 2020. Murphy is one of the most narcissistic, self-important, hypocritical dirtbags. Yes, I agree. Pandering boob without a modicum of credibility. For blowing and fake crocodile tears. We should read this entire article. It is excellent. Congress spent $40 billion, now they're up to $100 billion, on Ukraine, where Murphy takes bribes from Burisma through Leitner. Oh yeah, he's taking bribes. You're paying your money. He gets the bribe personally. He isn't interested in protecting children. He's interested in pandering to his psychotic base. Never let a crisis go to waste. Wow. Here we go. Buffalo. White supremacist shooting. No, not at all. Here we go. Here we go. Read the case. Read the article. I'm here on this floor to beg, to find a path forward here. Yeah. Elected to first-term Senate weeks before the deadly shooting at Sandy Hook in Newtown, Connecticut. Murphy, in 2020, sucking up to Black Lives Matter's lunatics, collecting campaign funds from Act Blue and Antifa. Okay. Nowhere else does this happen except in the United States. Really? That's because they prosecute. Here we go. In an interview, he likes cameras only slightly less than Richard Blumenthal, who was recently fraudulently certified in a Connecticut election held by Kohler, being sued by me in the Stanford Superior Court, FST CV 2022 502-7404-S. Spare me the bullshit about mental illness. We don't have any more mental illness than any other country in the world. But we have him as DHS chair, Senate subcommittee, doing MK Ultra and remote neural monitoring, making shooters go to schools, implanting speech in their minds, and he is a defendant in that trial. Flynn versus Schumer, Blumenthal, Murphy, Gillibrand, and Menendez. Soon to add the state of Pennsylvania. So Flynn versus Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, and the fusion centers. We are compiling affidavits. We just got some from Pennsylvania where women have been trafficked. Their children are stolen and trafficked. We have cases from New York, from Suffolk County. We were going after phony baloney. We're going after 32 people or more. So here we go. However, 2 years ago, Murphy, not concerned about the safety of children, introduced a bill with the squad, Presley, Omar, and Warren, introducing the bill to remove police from schools. Okay? Here's a bill sponsored by Murphy to remove school resource officers, SROs, and replace them with counselors. Guess what? If the kids don't feel safe, they will not learn. Here, the chief of Wolcott, Connecticut Police Department, Ed Stevens, disagrees with Murphy's assessment. His town has 3 SROs in the school system, and they are absolutely beneficial. Well, I'll tell you when the cops are not beneficial. In Norwalk, they are not beneficial. Why? Because our school shooter at Norwalk High School was never prosecuted. That's on Walsh. That's on Koholic. That's on all. When the Darien football team beat up a student, they didn't go after Darien. No. So what do they care? When my son was a senior in Norwalk High, there were 32 fights that year that were not publicized. Not publicized. What happened? They had a recent stabbing at school 1 week ago in Norwalk. There's so many problems with Chris Murphy. We're going to address it in the 5G lawsuit because he is a gang stalker. Gang stalker, mind control, 5G enabler in the U.S. Senate with Congressman Himes, with NSA, CIA, FBI oversight, with Blumenthal on the Intelligence Committee. Himes is on the Congressional Intelligence Committee in the House. Blumenthal is on the Senate Judiciary. What's happening in the state judiciary is Matt Blumenthal is being groomed. Matt Blumenthal is the abortion king of Connecticut. So hold on a second. They all care about kids. Why are they murdering them? Why are they annihilating the black populations in Connecticut, in New Haven, Hartford, Waterbury? Hello. What's going on in Danbury is criminal. Danbury. What's going on in different places with the vaccine mandates is criminal. What's going on with forced vaccination with no consent? And what's going on with radiating everyone in the state through 5G? We have extreme levels of radiation in Hamden and Seymour, Connecticut. The Hamden numbers are 6 million times the legal limit. 6 million times the legal limit. Look at Pura. Look at the Siting Council. Look at Eversource. Look at the Department of Environmental Protection. Watch the videos we've already put out. There are no comments on our interview with the Department of Environmental Protection where they are admitting that Wi-Fi is making kids infertile, giving them autism. The reason why New Jersey's in the Connecticut 5G lawsuit is because we have testimony about autism from New Jersey. The reason why we are bringing Pennsylvania in is due to human trafficking. The reason why we are bringing in Connecticut is because of the U.S. Senator's actions. And there we are. I'm at 10 minutes. I hope you watch this. I'm going to share it. It's a disaster for Murphy. Murphy is a disaster, and luckily I will head him off at the pass. He will not survive a debate against me. It's not possible. I have such a file on this guy that he has committed treason multiple times. First of all, against Burisma, he stated on the congressional floor that if Trump's investigation on Ukraine was pushed through, he would withdraw all Democratic support for weaponry to Ukraine. Okay? And he's been taking bribes from Leitner. So why is Blumenthal always there? Well, Murphy is supporting Blumenthal's Iran deal. Richard Blumenthal from Connecticut wrote the Iran deal. And Murphy secretly met with Iran during the Trump administration, which is treason, okay? Bad-mouthing Trump's policy towards Iran. What's happening now in Syria and Iran? What happened in Afghanistan? Chris Murphy gave $85 billion of Black Hawk helicopters and Humvees to Afghanistan. To Afghanistan. Our military equipment was gifted to the Taliban. Why? Look at his policy towards the Houthi. They can behead Christians and he doesn't care. They can behead Christians and he's appeasing Ilhan Omar and Presley with God knows what un-American policy he can dream up of while he's getting bribed through Act Blue by BLM and Antifa, which has a two-tiered judicial system. In Connecticut, there is a two-tiered judicial system. Blumenthal has a signed confidentiality agreement with every federal judge in Connecticut, including the one who's hearing the 5G lawsuit in Connecticut. So what happens here is collusion and conspiracy of a federal judge. I asked him to recuse himself. He said no. Our first motion was to remove biometric chipping in Phil Marie. He said no. Our second motion is equally important. Put a moratorium on 5G in Connecticut. He said no. He's saying no to the most important motion in Connecticut history in a federal court due to a conflict of interest having gone to Yale with Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, and Richard Blumenthal. Hello, Yale is a problem. No one who ever goes to Yale should ever be allowed to be president of the United States. That is a fact, Jack, because Connecticut, the Constitution state, does not follow the Constitution, and neither does Chris Murphy. Thank you very much for listening. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.